So let's talk about grief and loss. This is a topic that everybody experiences no matter what walk of life you come from. Everybody grieves something on some level. When I say grief and loss, a lot of people in mental health immediately go to death. Obviously, that is a form of grief and loss. But there are a lot of things in this world that we can feel grief and loss about. I got injured in high school, both my junior and senior year in football. And because football and sports was my life in high school, I know, typical teen kind of stuff, whatever. I really went through a difficult time trying to wrap my head around the idea that for the rest of my life I wasn't going to be able to play football again. I didn't know what it was, but looking back now, I went through a lot of the stages of grief. I won't go over into a lot of detail on these. You guys have probably heard of them. The stages of grief being, and these are in no particular order, but they're denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. So people can have grief and loss over just being able to do certain things, and then all of a sudden that goes away, and then they're not able to do those things anymore. I have a lot of clients that have been in a lot of injuries and things like that, and they, because of the injury, they're not able to do the things that they once were able to do that really influenced their self-esteem. So their self-esteem was high because they were able to do a lot of things before in the past, and then after the injury they're not able to do those things, so they go through those 5 stages of grief, and it can be very painful for these kind of people. I shouldn't say these kind of people, these people. We all go through some level of grief in this life. It's inevitable. Heck, even right now, I grieve good comedy movies. When's the last time we had a good comedy movie? It's been a while, right? Obviously, I'm being a little sarcastic, but grief and loss is a very serious thing. It's a very serious topic when it comes to people that have lost loved ones, pets, things like that. They go through these stages, and I know it's cliche, but time, to me, is the biggest healer. And I shouldn't say just time. Time with the mentality that when people pass on or pets pass on, that it's okay, that you're going to continue to live a fulfilling life. In fact, it's not that much different for yourself going through the process as it is with a breakup. A breakup is grief and loss, right? So when I talked about that episode, or when I had that video about breakups in your mindset, is if you have a limited belief mindset, your tendency is to not think that you're going to be able to function the way that you want to, the way that you were before with a significant other. And it's really not that much different than, losing a loved one to death, or a pet, is that you think in your mind on some level that things aren't going to be the same, or on a really base core level, I'm just not going to be as happy. Always remind yourself when you're going through anything in life when it has to do with grief and loss, is that you can and will be happy again. It might take some work, it might take some mental energy, and you're going to go through some tears, and that's okay. That's part of this life too, is grieving, meaning that you're allowing yourself to feel the emotion, the appropriate emotion of being attached to something, and then that going away so that you're detached to it. That's what us human beings, that's kind of how we're programmed. But once you wrap your mind around the idea that you're going to be happy again, and that it doesn't have to stay in this state of anger or depression or bargaining or whatever it is, you're going to be able to move on. And that, coupled with time, allows people to successfully grieve the process, along with processing your feelings and your emotions either in therapy or to your family members and things like that. And that really does help people get through the process. But let me know and comment about your experiences with grief and loss, and comment about maybe what has worked for you, what didn't work for you, how you got through it, and maybe even like if you feel like it was a time thing, how long did it take? Was it quick? Was it short? Was it long? I'm just curious to know kind of how other people's experiences are when it comes to grief and loss. Thank you.